Hello there! June is here once again, and with it comes a bunch of games wanting your time. Like usual, I found a range of titles from AAA behemoth to reduced price classic, and a handful of free-to-play titles that have finally released. So let's not wait around, let's do this! There's 3 massive games dropping this month. Final Fantasy XVI is the one for the PlayStation gamers, as it's only releasing on PS5, initially at least. Don't worry, you don't need to know what happened in the other 15 mainline Final Fantasy games, as the stories are unique with some reoccurring elements, like huge summons and big chickens called chocobos. This time the action RPG takes us to a medieval-inspired world, filled with castles and kingdoms. We play as Clive, who is the guardian of little brother Joshua, who has the ability to summon a huge icon if his kingdom is ever in need. The thing is, other nations also have a ward who can summon an icon, and peace in this land cannot last forever. Combat is a blend of melee, combos, dodging and ranged magic attacks as Clive embarks on a tale of vengeance that will span a lifetime. I was lucky enough to play Final Fantasy XVI last month, and I've got to admit I'm looking forward to seeing the story through. Final Fantasy XVI releases exclusively on PS5 on June 22nd. Next, Street Fighter returns with a big number 6 after its name. Capcom's iconic fighting game has received an impressive visual overhaul as well as updates to game modes. At its core, Street Fighter VI remains a one-on-one fighter which is easy to learn but impossible to master. And losing makes people very angry. To alleviate that, the controls have been revamped. It's possible to play in a new modern style where a single button press replaces a once complicated move. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. The World Tour game mode adds a single player variation, more like an action game to be honest. After creating a custom character, and oh my gosh, I've seen some custom characters, we go out into the world and pick fights like a bully. Along the way we learn and train with iconic Street Fighter characters like Cammy and Chun-Li. Metro City is almost like a fighting RPG made for people who don't enjoy competitive brawlers. Graphically, fighters will now be visually hurt with ripped clothes or bruises or cuts to add to the realism, and a bunch of mini-games and training modes are included too. Street Fighter VI could be amazing. Look out for it on June 2nd on PS4, PS5, the Xbox Series and PC. The juggernaut that is Diablo IV releases on June 6th. It's a hack and slash dungeon crawling action RPG. I'm not really into these games, so I asked a few hardcore players why they love it so much, and they always say the same thing. It's about mastering the skill and loot system, understanding what all the numbers do, and managing the buffs, the status effects and the cooldowns is the core gameplay, with seemingly limitless ways to respec a character to change entire playthroughs. And then there are the random elements, like finding a pair of boots with extra dodge rolls, or a hat that lets you spam attacks quicker. Diablo is definitely for a certain type of player. The dark storytelling is said to be the most improved, as Lilith has been resurrected and the Lord of Hatred forces mankind to descend into madness. Expect to see a lot of Diablo 4 online for a long time, as there will be a live service with the game, constantly updating and upgrading. If that's your thing, grab Diablo 4 on June 6th on the PlayStations, the Xboxes and the PC. It's been a very long time since the WWE games had a real competitor. Well, we finally found one. AEW Fight Forever releases this month, a wrestling game developed by Ukes, who arguably made the best WWE games before their relationship broke down. There are 9 match types at launch, ranging from simple singles matches to full-on exploding barbed wire death matches. The headliners include CM Punk, Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. Personally, I'm looking forward to something a little different from the usual WWE product. June 29th is game time on PS4, PS5, the Xboxes and PC, and Switch 2. Okay, let's have a look at some free games for this month. I intended to go into depth about Blue Protocol, but like any game I'm looking forward to, it's been delayed, unless you're in Japan. The Western release is now 2024. I'll come back to it in the future. Well, on the plus side, remember when I told you about the console release of TrackMania, scheduled for February? Well, 3 months later, it finally released, to absolutely no fanfare at all. It's downloadable right now. The esports scene around this game is way more intense than I expected, and to bring more eyes to the game, it's finally free on all platforms. With weekly Nations Leagues for those who want to take their hobby further, or just a race with friends, TrackMania doesn't have a great deal to offer, but what it does do, it does well. especially the ability to create your own tracks to challenge other people online. Another free-to-play game that totally missed its initial release date is Warlander, and yet again, it's now out on PC and console without any fanfare. The medieval-inspired fantasy warfare game combines hack and slash, shooting and strategy to win these 100-person battles. Castle sieges are my preferred game mode as we roll a huge battering ram towards another team's castle to break through their defences and take out their core before the time runs out. Things get even more insane when there are 5 army versions of these game modes. Classes include warriors, clerics and even a mage, which can all be customised, building a character unique to your playstyle. Warlander is out now on PlayStation, Xbox and PC. I do have one more free game this month. Pool Blitz on the PS5. A simple but effective pool game that supports classic 8-ball and 9-ball versions. There's also an interesting Battle Blitz mode where every ball you pot appears on your opponent's table and everyone they pot appears on yours. If you have 7 friends, you're able to set up an 8-player tournament online and watch the games through together. And I'm told it's legal to heckle your friends. Pool Blitz isn't going to wow you massively, but it's out now on PS5 if you want something different to do. One last update on the free-to-play front. There's a chance that Honkai Star Rail will be releasing on June 7th on PlayStation, but alas, I wasn't able to get this confirmed before I made this video. Last month, Honkai Star Rail launched for free on PC and mobile, to solid reviews, and the PlayStation version was aiming for update 1.1 to join the fun, and update 1.1 is on June 7th. So please don't quote me on this, but that could be the release date for my PS5 brothers and sisters, to see if this turn-based RPG is their kind of gacha game. Regardless, I'll have a full breakdown next month. Okay, let's get back to priced games, but reduced priced games. Retailing at $30, €30 or £25 here in the UK is Crash Team Rumble, a 4-on-4 platformer. Let me explain. Each level starts with a free-for-all to pick up as many Wumpa fruit as possible, and then it's a case of getting all that fruit back home and banking it. Layer on top of that fighting mechanics to impact the opposition and a range of boosts and buffs, and you've got Crash Team Rumble. There are also classes for roles in the team. The scorers can hold 120 Wumpa fruit before they have to get back, and they also move a bit quicker. Boosters can't hold as many fruit, but they can pick up relics, which leads to team boosts. And then there are blockers, who are there to frustrate the opposition, although they're a bit slow. Crash Team Rumble releases on June 20th on PS4, PS5 and the Xboxes. Sonic Origins released a year ago and combined a bunch of Sonic titles from the early days of the Blue Blur. On June 23rd, an updated version will be released, Sonic Origins Plus, with even more content, like adding Amy into Sonic 1 through to Sonic CD. 12 Game Gear titles have been added, and every piece of post-launch content from the last year is in here too. Retailing at $40 US, there's a crazy amount of Sonic the Hedgehog to be played if that's your jam. And finally, another $40 game, Aliens Dark Descent. A real-time strategy game set in the Alien franchise. We'll be tactically going up against xenomorphs after crash landing on a planet full of them. Imagine XCOM without any time to stop and think. Aliens Dark Descent has us managing health and stress levels of the team, in addition to objectives like clearing a sector or welding shut potential weak points. And if a squad mate dies, they are gone forever. So your decisions matter in every single mission. Aliens Dark Descent drops on June 20th on PS4, PS5, the Xboxes and PC. So if you're still here and my voice hasn't gone, you deserve a dad joke. What kind of shoes do ninjas wear? Sneakers, of course. Give me a sec, I can do better than that. Which bear is the most condescending? A panda. Okay, I quite like that one. I'm Adam, you're awesome. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you next time.